Establishes itself here out across the southeast. Warming trend as it slides east and more humidity, too. Pretty pleasant day today. I think the best of the next 4 or 5 days. Lots of sunshine, 77, about average for this time of year. Light northwest breeze. Tonight, some clouds, 51, and some areas in the 40s. A mix of sunshine and clouds tomorrow. A little bit warmer, 83. Thursday, Friday, some clouds and sunshine near 90. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Audible. This spring, let Audible bring a smile with comedy, sci-fi, thrillers, or whatever you love listening to. From audiobooks to exclusive originals to podcasts, find it all on Audible. Sign up and start free at audible.com.
Have you ever heard of the Yips? What about the Twisties? Join me, Justin Sua, for Losing Control, a new podcast about one of the strangest phenomena in sports, the yips, or when an athlete or elite performer suddenly finds themselves unable to do the thing that they do better than almost everyone else on the planet. That's Losing Control, a new podcast from Sports Illustrated Studios and iHeartRadio. Listen to Losing Control on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. We'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
May is Maytag month, the hardest working month of the year, when you can save on hard-working Maytag performance. Like laundry pairs that make clothes think twice before getting dirty again. Refrigerators that make cold your new favorite flavor. And dishwashers that eat caked on oatmeal for breakfast.
Don't wait. Put the hardest working month of the year to work for you and save big on Maytag appliances now through June 1st. Because May is Maytag month.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get access. Well, not anymore, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide with deals like our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month and no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for $249, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Big news from PhD Weight Loss, the program that's been helping the Sportsocracy lose pounds and discover a new, healthier us is proving its championship-level results. It's now the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. Coach Sweeney said it's only unthinkable if you don't think it. I never thought results like losing more than 50 pounds in 4 months was possible, but PhD's all-in approach has made a believer out of me.
Since starting with PhD Weight Loss, I've dropped back down to my high school weight, but the best part may be the effect on my sleep. The weight loss has helped me experience restful sleep for the first time in a long time.
We've seen the results, and now PhD's program has been validated further as the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. With PhD, you get a 5-star commitment to you and your success. Book a consultation with one of their Hall of Fame health coaches today at myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com.
You can't get much for $5 these days, unless you go to Wendy's for a $5 Biggie Bag. Get your choice of double stack, junior bacon cheeseburger, or crispy chicken BLT, plus 4-piece nugs, fries, and a drink, all for just $5. That was smooth, wasn't it? That's how you're going to feel when you get that Biggie Bag at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes 4-piece nuggets, small soft drink, and small fry. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Celtics hoping to have guard Marcus Smart in the lineup when they visit the Heat in Game 1 of the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals tonight. The NBA Defensive Player of the Year questionable with a mid-foot sprain. Boston can't afford to even be without Smart for a single game against Miami. Believes First Take host Stephen A. Smith.
They're the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They're obviously loaded from the standpoint of what they bring to the table defensively themselves. They have a star in Jimmy Butler who's anxious to prove that he is a bona fide superstar in this league. Obviously, Tyler Hero is the reigning 6th man of the year. Bam Adebayo can ball. PJ Tucker is a stout defender.
Heat guard Kyle Lowry remains out with a lingering hamstring injury. Coverage of Game 1 tips off with the NBA Draft Lottery, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN TV, and the ESPN app. Tiger Woods will play in a featured group with Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth in the first 2 rounds of the PGA Championship. They tee off their opening round Thursday at 9:11 a.m. Eastern. One of the other featured groups, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, and Patrick Cantlay. Coverage on ESPN TV as well as ESPN+.
Feeling great starts with a great shave. And great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. And for a limited time only, capture your Barbasol Jurassic World collector cans before they're gone.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on to ESPNABL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on this Tuesday afternoon on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is always heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, live or on demand, and seen everywhere on YouTube. TheSportsocracy.com. Just click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Big night tonight in the NBA. We got the conference finals tipping off with the Eastern Conference. Boston Celtics at the Miami Heat. Game 1.
We also have the dumbest thing we do.
The NBA Draft Lottery?
Yes. This is the dumbest thing that we do.
Why is it the dumbest thing?
The worst team should get the best player. That's how this is supposed to work.
But teams can tank.
Who cares? Who cares? I think the Detroit Pistons have been tanking since 1997.
Aside from that one year that they won a title.
Well, now there were a couple of those. Other than that, they've been hot dog water.
Yep. We've got the NBA Draft Lottery tonight. We'll get into that in just a minute. We've got the PGA Championship starting up in Tulsa, Oklahoma later on this week. Jeremy will have his full preview, his picks for the PGA Championship, and well, one of the most baffling prices I've ever seen on a concession.
Number one question I have to ask, is there ever a time that you would pay $18 for a beer?
No. Never.
That's not my answer.
Oh, of course.
There's 100% of time I would pay $18. There's a time I would pay $800 for a beer.
I can't wait to find out what that reason's going to be. We'll also talk some football coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, talking about quarterbacks. Who could make the leap forward and the leap backwards this year when it comes to NFL quarterbacks?
And this is coming off Brady Quinn. Just, nobody asked you, Brady. I didn't need you to throw shade at my quarterback.
Oh.
I love Brady Quinn.
But he threw shade at Zach Wilson, and now you
But
can't
he
get
is
past it.
he is currently he is on my list. This was Festivus. I would be airing grievances with Brady Quinn right now.
We will have, of course, all of your picks for the night. Well, for the one NBA game that's going on. We'll have the Green on Green and the 5 on it as well.
We're also breaking into hockey tonight.
Nice.
I got a banger in hockey.
All right,
I mean a banger.
Jeremy's got some NHL picks for you as well. So we'll get into all of that over the next 2 hours. But tonight is the night that, one of the top 3, maybe all of the 3 top prospects in the NBA draft will be bemoaning their station in life, knowing that they're going to have to spend the next few years with a god-awful team in the NBA. However, there is a path. You could end up on a decent team. I mean, there's a 1% chance, I think, that the Charlotte Hornets could win the lottery.
It's highly unlikely.
It is.
It is highly unlikely.
The New Orleans Pelicans, they're obviously the team right now hoping that the lottery shakes out for them because they have the Los Angeles Lakers pick.
That would be the greatest in the history of time. Lakers win the lottery. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But you traded it for that big, made of popsicle sticks and glass, Anthony Davis.
Well, they're not going to get to keep the pick either way. So,
New Orleans?
No, Los Angeles.
I was about to say, this one's not protected.
Right.
This is wherever it lands, it goes to New Orleans.
And, well, I think if it goes in the top 10, it goes to New Orleans. If it comes out of that, then it conveys to Memphis. I believe that's correct.
I just know it doesn't go to L.A.
No, it doesn't go to L.A. either way. It belongs to New Orleans, and New Orleans through the trade with Memphis. I guess this was the Jonas Valanciunas trade that they made. Then that pick will convey to the Memphis Grizzlies if it's not in the top 10. But there's a 99.6% chance that pick will be top 10 protected, so they won't have to send it to Memphis. And so the New Orleans Pelicans, I mean, if you're still a believer in Zion Williamson, that team could be something. If they, especially if I've been running through these simulations of the lottery, and I would probably say a good 20% of the time the Lakers pick has ended up in the top 4.
Well, I mean, that is how percentages work.
Right. Is that the percentage for it?
No, it's not that high. The problem is that all of these teams that are at the top of the lottery that are just hoping the ping pong balls bounce their way, there's only one player in this draft that I personally feel great about.
Jabari Smith.
That's the only one.
Okay.
Because, see, I have and maybe I'm old school, maybe whatever. I personally, if I'm going to take a player at 1, I would like that player to be able to shoot.
Okay.
He's the only one that can. Oh, don't do it. I've gone way deeper into this than you have. Neither one of them are good. I know the 2 players you're about to say, neither one of them are good shooters.
Really?
You're about to say Banchero and you're about to say Chet Holmgren. Neither one is a good shooter.
I mean, Chet's not a horrible shooter.
And they're both soft as used baby diapers.
Well, now yes.
I don't love either one of those.
I mean, every year I make my, plant my flag on the guy who I think is going to be the best out of this draft class. And to me, it's Jabari Smith.
It's not even close.
Right.
That's the first comp that we have for those of you that are not huge college basketball fans, or you just you're looking for what the lottery means tonight. Jabari Smith, to me, reminds me of Chris Bosh.
I could see
That's exactly who he reminds me of.
I could see that. Probably better range, though.
No, Chris Bosh was a pretty good shooter towards the end.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, he's a better three-point shooter than Chris Bosh. But I would also say he's probably not as good of a rebounder as Bosh was. But it's pretty close.
Yeah.
But I think that's about the area that he falls into. 6'10" kid out of Auburn. And, yes, he played for Auburn, so no, you probably didn't see him as often as the NBA would have liked you to.
Right. So when you said that Jabari Smith was the only one that could shoot, were you talking about just the top 3?
I was talking about the top 3.
Okay, all right.
I was talking about who I could take at 1.
Gotcha.
I really struggle with, I'm going to take Chet Holmgren. Well, he is 7 feet tall. He also weighs about $147.
Yeah, he looks like he is made out of popsicle sticks.
Do you know what he weighs?
182 pounds.
He's 195 pounds at 7 feet tall. For posterity's sake, I weighed 195 pounds in about the 8th grade. And I was not 7 feet tall. And I was always a little doughy, but I was never, good Lord.
Right. Chet Holmgren is the lankiest prospect we have seen in a while.
And I have a comp on him, too. And once you see it, you'll never unsee it.
Okay, give it to me.
Kristaps Porzingis. It's exactly who he reminds me of.
But he's not as explosive as Kristaps was.
He's pretty... they're very similar players.
I mean, he just seems...
The high side is that he's a really good shot blocker.
Yeah.
And he does have guard-like skills. The problem is that I think any big of any kind of girth in the NBA is going to eviscerate him. I just don't know who he's going to guard. And that kind of falls into the same thing with that's how I got to the Kristaps comparison. As somebody that spent many years watching him in New York, he had 2 speeds. Yeah, he could block one into the crowd, or he could get absolutely eviscerated by anybody that weighed over about 2 bills.
Right. And you don't have high hopes for Paolo?
Not really. He reminds me of Julius Randle. And I'll be honest with you, I've tried to find any other name to compare him to. Every site has Julius Randle as one of his comps.
Really?
And I don't like him that much.
Yeah.
I see the value, and I think he'll be a good offensive player in the league. I just don't really think he's ever more than that.
Right.
And yeah, I know the Duke fans. Oh, but buddy, he took us to the Final Four. I'm aware of that. You do realize that you have 2 other lottery picks that also had a little hand in that.
I was going to say also Armando Bacot took the Tar Heels to the Final Four.
Yeah,
and
he's not an NBA player at all.
Exactly. He's a second-round pick at best.
Now, I will say Paolo's Duke teammate, A.J. Griffin, he's one of the guys that I'm higher on. I am higher on him than just about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that strikes me as he's going to come out of nowhere and be a less efficient defensive version of Jimmy Butler. I've yet to see him in the top 5, and I don't get it. If you take Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin ahead of him, you need to have your head examined because it makes not even the slightest bit of sense.
Okay.
And look, I love the story. The story of the 0-star prospect that goes to Wisconsin, and then all of a sudden he's the best player in college basketball.
Right.
Okay. He's also real thin and doesn't do anything tremendously well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, if you're wondering why you should watch the lottery, a team in the top 5 is going to take Johnny Davis. And I'm going to say the same thing I said about Johnny Flynn and a slew of other players. You were great in college basketball. You will go to the NBA and be absolutely irrelevant. He'll play.
Right.
But the difference between the first 3 guys I said and Johnny Davis is pretty vast.
Now, obviously, the NBA, not the most popular of the sports. The NFL, far and away. If the NFL had a lottery, it would pull in a number unlike any other.
Well, I mean, and see, to me, that's why this is so stupid.
What?
This is so stupid because this is the one sport where I would argue it matters the least. Think about every number 1 draft pick in the NBA that's just been an absolute unmitigated disaster.
True.
Think about how many of them have happened in the NFL. 3 in 25 years?
Right.
If this really mattered, that's the sport you should do this in. Yeah, the NBA has a LeBron James. They have a, sadly enough, Greg Oden is probably the second best example of this. And, well, that didn't go well.
Right.
But to me, that's the sport where this makes sense. And I understand it's a show, and it will the lottery itself will outrate virtually any playoff game that's happened so far.
Okay, that's where I was going with that. Is this an event in the NBA calendar that you watch? Because I'll be honest, I do.
I do.
I watch it, but it's also like it's so anticlimactic every year. I mean, there's
Why do you say that?
I don't know. Because
I think they do a great job of building the drama.
The lottery only affects. I mean, it obviously affects everybody that's in the lottery draw, but
somebody's moved from the bottom 6 into the top 4 every year they've done it this way.
Yeah.
So that argument doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I don't
to
know.
me.
I don't know. Maybe it's because my team never wins it.
No, because you're always at 13.
Right.
Yeah, your team has virtually no shot of winning this.
Right. The Charlotte Hornets, we're just waiting. Like, ooh, if we don't hear our name second, then we know we got a good pick.
If the Charlotte Hornets don't take Mark Williams, I will eat my hat on camera.
Unless they end up in the top 4.
They won't.
No, they won't.
Have no fear. The lottery's rigged, which is why the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to win it and the Orlando Magic are going to finish second.
It's rigged?
Because
Wait,
the NBA
is this a Patrick Ewing?
I'm being horribly facetious.
Okay, thank you.
I routinely laugh when people say that the lottery is rigged.
Mm-hmm.
If it's rigged, they have done a horrible job of rigging this thing.
Right.
Zion Williamson ends up with the New Orleans Pelicans. Yeah, you're not doing a great job here.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody you really like in the lottery that we hadn't talked about yet?
I really like Jaden Ivey.
That's the one I was getting ready to say.
I just don't know. I don't know how he will. See, I'm pretty bad, I think, at going, this guy was a really great college basketball player. Does he translate to the NBA well?
Oh, that's probably the most accurate thing you've ever said. So, the thing about Jaden Ivey is that he'll be able to go into the league and score. He's going to be a Donovan Mitchell type of scorer. The problem is he's not a Donovan Mitchell type defender.
Mm-hmm.
He strikes me as a player that if he wound up with, I'm just trying to look at a team that's got a pick up here. If he wound up with, I don't know, New Orleans, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind that because there are pieces around him that you could, I'm not going to say hide him, but you're so good offensively that now I at least see the shtick that you're striving into.
Right.
The problem is I look at him with like Houston. Houston does not have a player on that team that can play dead in the Western. This is why I've always found the lottery to be comical. The Rockets somehow have been in the top 3 for what feels like the better part of the last half a decade, and yet they have yet to find a player that can play any form of defense. And if they don't win this one, they're not going to find one this time. And then you just wind up with this gross mismatch like the Orlando Magic of, look, we have Wendell Carter.
Right. We've got these names
Mo
that
Bamba.
you know. And see, that's another problem for the NBA lottery for me, is that some of you look at it and go, at least they have these names we know. But now it seems like year after year, it's becoming more and more of there are no names that you know.
No, I mean, this year, the ones that you know are Chet and Banchero. Not a lot of international flavor this year. Now, I will say, if you're a fan of a bad team, you really want to win the lottery next year. Next year.
Next year is the year.
If you have a lucky rabbit's foot or the cosmos owes you a favor, don't waste it on this year. Wait till Victor Wembanyama comes out next year. Because that is a guy that can transform your franchise.
Okay. Other than Jabari Smith, there's not one in this draft, in your opinion.
And I don't think Jabari Smith is that.
Oh, okay.
Victor Wembanyama, to me, is probably the best prospect we've had in the draft since LeBron James. He's
right.
built like Rudy Gobert and handles it like Luka Doncic. Yet that's something I've never seen before.
Right.
He's what Kristaps Porzingis was sold to be. He's insane.
Okay.
Other than that, there's a bunch of role players. You know, I do like Mark Williams, the kid out of Duke. I already said I liked AJ Griffin. Other than that, it's a lot of. I saw somebody that had Jaden Hardy in the lottery the other day, and I went, really?
Who?
He played for the Ignite team.
Oh.
That's another problem. You remember that thing I told you about the NBA created a problem for itself?
Yes.
The G League Ignite is one of those. Because you, a person that hosts a sports talk show, I said their best player's name, and you went, who?
Right.
Because if you're watching Ignite games, you have a problem. And you need a
100%.
date. You need to go on a date really badly.
Right.
Just go download Tinder and just do nothing but swipe right. Swipe right, swipe. Somebody will match with you, and you should take them to the Outback Steakhouse immediately.
The NBA draft lottery coming up tonight. How much does it matter? Well, I mean, if you're a struggling franchise, you want to get your shot at the best player. Problem is, the guy that goes number one, not always the best player on the board. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Boy, this low humidity has been so nice today. It sticks around tonight with some 40s in the higher elevations, around 50 degrees in the city. Partly cloudy, beautiful weather midweek and a high of 83 degrees. Upper 80s Thursday and Friday. Could see some splash and dash summer-like thunderstorms here across the mountains of western North Carolina, and then widely scattered thunderstorms into the weekend with 70s and 80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Audible. This spring, let Audible bring a smile with comedy, sci-fi, thrillers, or whatever you love listening to. From audiobooks to exclusive originals to podcasts, find it all on Audible. Sign up and start free at audible.com.
Here's to the great American settlers, the millions of you who settled for unsatisfying jobs because they pay the bills. Of course, there is something else you could do if you got something to say. Start a podcast with Spreaker from iHeart and unleash your creative freedom. Maybe even earn enough money to one day tell your old boss, hey, I'm no settler, I'm an explorer. Spreaker.com, Spreaker. Hustle on over today.
The job market is competitive right now, so you need to be competitive to attract top talent. If you're trying to fill open positions at your business, iHeartMedia is here to help. Use radio and digital targeting to find fresh, passive candidates currently in the workforce. These candidates are listening right now, looking for new opportunities. Together, we can let the community know you're hiring. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Have you ever heard of the yips? What about the twisties? Join me, Justin Su'a, for Losing Control, a new podcast about one of the strangest phenomena in sports, the yips, or when an athlete or elite performer suddenly finds themselves unable to do the thing that they do better than almost everyone else on the planet. That's Losing Control, a new podcast from Sports Illustrated Studios and iHeartRadio. Listen to Losing Control on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's good to have choices. We're your alternative, Alt 101.1, with music like this.
If this feeling flows both ways.
And this. We're Asheville's alternative rock, Alt 101.1.
If the Oral-B IO electric toothbrush had a theme song, this would be it.
I think you're gonna wanna see this.
Only IO combines Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush head with gentle micro vibrations for a brushing experience even dentists have hailed as literally the best brush I've ever used. Get the wow of a professional clean feel every day with the IO from Oral-B, the #1 brand used by dentists.
You're gonna see what everybody's talking about.
Oral-B, brush like a pro.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Now is the time to get in the driver's seat of your career. Ingles Markets is looking for new regional drivers to join our Land to Sky distributors fleet. Start with 2 weeks paid time off and paid holidays. Our drivers average over $80,000 per year and they're home every week. Land to Sky offers excellent pay and a great benefits package. 6 months of CDLA driving experience is required to apply. Visit ingles-markets.com/careers to know more. That's ingles-markets.com/careers.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
All right, tonight in the NBA Draft Lottery, you're going to find the best odds for the #1 pick belonging to the Houston Rockets, the Orlando Magic, and once again, the Detroit Pistons, who won the lottery last year.
I was about to say, if it sounds familiar, that's 3 of the 4 teams that had the best shot at it last year.
True.
Oh, and Oklahoma City. Yeah, they've been bad forever.
Right. Top 3 teams all have a 14% lottery chance to end up with the #1 pick. Then it goes Oklahoma City, Indiana, and then it drops off precipitously after that. The Los Angeles Lakers pick belongs to the New Orleans Pelicans.
Or the Memphis Grizzlies.
But again, it's a 99.6% chance that pick goes to the Pelicans.
I looked it up in the break. What would have to happen is 3 of the teams below the Lakers would have to jump into the lottery.
Yeah.
If you're curious, that's never happened. And the odds are worse on it now than they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that pick's going to be going to the Pelicans.
Yeah. Unfortunately for the Charlotte Hornets, a 1% chance that they wind up with one of the, with the top pick.
They have a 3% chance to get in the lottery.
There you go.
Not great.
No, it's not great. But as we were talking about, the guys that you don't know, like Dyson Daniels from the G League Ignite team.
It's not great.
It doesn't, and according to the big board that I'm looking at, he's like 9th.
He'll go in the lottery.
Shaden Sharp from Kentucky.
Who played not 1 second.
Right. Didn't play a single second in Kentucky. He's in the top 6 or 7.
Oh, and he'll go in the top 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Just based off high school tape. That's how bad this class is.
Yep. Charlotte Hornets fans, we need a big man.
It's Mark Williams.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right
100%.
now, if that's not who they take at 13, I will eat my hat on the show. because I don't see anybody that's taking him ahead of them, and I don't see how he gets by them.
Yeah. There is one guy in this lottery that I keep looking at it and I go, what is the big attraction? And it's Jeremy Sochan from Baylor. I don't get it with him.
It's that he can play that small ball center, aggressive two-way player. He's good defensively, and he's not just a complete liability offensively.
Right. But I look at a guy like
currently
him.
he can't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem is that he falls into that thing I said earlier of I really struggle to take players in the lottery that can't shoot beyond 8 feet.
Each and every year I find one of these guys that everybody's like, oh, he's going to be so good at the next level. And I go, I don't see it. And then he comes into the league, and he's pretty good.
See, where people get the NBA draft wrong is they think because there's so few picks that every player is going to be an impact. It's not true.
Mm-hmm.
In large part, you get about usually 6 to 7 rotational pieces in the lottery. If you're lucky, you'll get 1 or 2 all-star level players, and everything else is where do you fit? Do you wind up on a team that a team can use you? Mm-hmm. Look at a guy like Tyrese Halliburton that fell a couple years ago. Well, he fell because he didn't really fit with any of the teams before the Kings took him, and then the Kings turned him into Domantas Sabonis.
See, we find ourselves, or many of us in the state of North Carolina, find ourselves looking at the draft and going, well, there aren't any guys from my team in it. So I think that has a lot to do with your interest in the lottery.
Well, I mean, the NBA shot themselves in the foot. The G League Ignite thing was dumb. So you create a team full of some of your best draft prospects in a league that no one watches.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like the NFL creating a developmental team in the USFL.
Were they?
You see how stupid that sounds when I said that?
Were they competitive though?
Who cares?
No, I'm just
They're
curious.
playing in the G League where nobody plays any defense. I mean, Jalen Greene is the greatest player that's come out of that, and it's not even close, and he is horrid defensively.
Mm-hmm.
It's glorified AAU.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what it looks like. So, I mean, if people wonder why I so often say the NFL can do no wrong and every other sport seems to be betting against themselves, it's things like that. You have 2 guys that are going to go in this lottery that I would wager 99.9% of people that can hear my voice would not know them if they walked in the room they were sitting in. It's hard to sell your draft that way.
Yeah.
It's hard to sell a draft when nobody knows anybody outside the top 3.
If you are a college basketball fan, though, I think there's more intrigue in this draft because there isn't a huge class of international guys. See, that's one of the things that always gets me about the draft is like you watch and you see this, 10 guys that are going to be first-round picks that you don't even know who they are. We've never seen this guy from Lithuania.
There are 8 Euro players that I think will get drafted in this. And the best one is the namesake of my 2022 NBA MVP, Nikola Jovic. And basically, if you want to know how he plays, take Nikola Jokic and do the exact opposite. He's real tall, but he's real thin. Kind of a Danilo Gallinari type.
6'10", 209, played at Mega Baymax.
Mega Basket.
Okay. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yeah, he played guard. And he did the John Henson thing.
Right.
He was a guard until a year ago. And then he went for, I think he was 6'1", and now he's 6'10".
Is there an underrated guy coming up and of course, we'll have more draft coverage as the draft gets closer and closer. Not anything near what we do for the NFL draft, but is there a guy, down the totem pole that you go, that guy's going to be special in the NBA and he's being undersold?
Patrick Baldwin. He made a horrible, horrible decision because he went to Milwaukee to play for his dad because his dad was the coach in Milwaukee. Had he come out in last year's draft, he'd have gone in the top 5. The problem is that he went to Milwaukee and he wasn't this just dynamic, outrageous player, and he looked kind of disinterested, and then his dad got fired. That went about as poorly as you could possibly have hoped.
Right.
But I look at him as somebody that'll go in the back end of the first round, and I think he has skill. The thing that makes me laugh is that somebody invariably is going to get pushed up the board because of what they do at the NBA Combine, which is if you've never watched the NBA Combine, which I really hope for your sake you haven't, because I have to every year, and it is one of the most tedious 3-day processes of my life.
You have to?
Well,
you make yourself. Yeah.
Guys move up the board. If I'm going to talk about it, it would help if I know it was good. I do this for a living. So, and invariably some guy will go from undrafted to 20. And it's so stupid. If you think the NFL Combine's dumb, the NBA Combine is that on steroids.
Mm-hmm. Good night. All right, it's time to get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
And I'm going to relay the story to you today, a very heartwarming story that shows the goodness in people.
Oh, I love these stories.
This was on he does not.
Sarcasm.
He thinks everyone's evil like he is and dark inside. He's like the Grinch.
That's pretty accurate, actually.
It's a very well-written story on ESPN.com today by Ryan Hawkins-Smith. It's about Elijah Balkenberg, who's an 11-year-old baseball fan who went to a spring training game this year with his family to go see the New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. And like a budding baseball fan, he wanted to go and get some autographs. He's got an autograph book with all of these cards signed by his favorite players, and he was out to get one guy's signature, DJ LeMahieu. That's his favorite player, his Little League baseball team. Everybody calls him DJ because of his ability to play anywhere on the field. The kid apparently can rake as well. And he goes and he finally gets DJ LeMahieu to sign the perfect card for his collection. Well, when they were getting ready to leave, he reaches down and the book's gone. He had lost all of his signatures. And so not only were him and his parents in a frenzy trying to find it and retracing their steps and looking everywhere, they got everybody involved that was at the ballpark trying to find this kid's book. Then mom goes on Facebook after they couldn't find the book, posts out how sad the kid is. Local TV station picks up the story. Long story short, they do a story on it and it goes viral. This kid starts getting packages sent to the TV station from all across the country. He now has probably an autograph collection that would rival some of the best collectors in the United States. Everybody sending this kid signatures and such. He got one ball sent to him by a guy in New York who at the age of 10 years old in 1968 was attacked by a shark. And in 1968 times, that story went viral. And the 1968 New York Yankees sent him a ball signed by the entire team. It had, this was the older Mickey Mantle, Mel Stoudemire Yankees. He sent that ball to this kid. He's got an amazing collection now. And then, not 2 weeks later, he got, from DJ LeMahieu, a signed ball that says, "To Elijah, DJ LeMahieu." This kid's incredible. I encourage you to go to ESPN, read the story. It's a very long story, but it is worth your time. And it just goes to show you that when a little kid gets his heart broken, there are good people in this world that will make it all better.
Well, that was very Disney and touching. My story is about beer.
Of course it is.
The PGA Championship's coming up this week at Southern Hills Country Club in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And there has been copious amounts of outrage because there has been a leak of their menu prices. You can get an Aquafina water bottle for the low, low price of just $6.
I'll hope it rains.
You also get a nice little plastic cup of wine for $13, a cocktail for $15, which I promise you there is more alcohol in my bloodstream right now than there would be in that cup.
Bingo.
And you can get a Michelob Ultra for $18.
Yikes. Is it at least a tall boy?
It is. It looks to be a tallish boy. I don't think it's the big boy. I don't think it's the I had a bad day at work beer.
Right.
And if you drink, you know exactly what I'm talking about because they all come in singles and they're all about as wide as the coffee cup I drink out of. I don't think it's one of those. Mm-hmm. But it's also not the ridiculous aluminum bottle. Either give me a bottle or give me a can. I don't care which one. Just okay, enough with the aluminum bottle nonsense. And that led many, Justin Thomas included, to say, well, that's kind of ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Justin Thomas tweeted out, $18 for a beer? Got to treat the fans better than that. And there has been a lot of people hop on board with him.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. If you go to any form of athletic events, you're going to pay more for alcoholic beverages. It's the way it is.
Well, of course.
It's the cost of doing business. If you don't want the tickets to be 5 times more expensive, the alcohol's going to be a little pricey.
I think it's also a deterrent.
Well, yeah, because they don't want people like me going 17 Ultras deep.
Right.
I mean, I don't do math so good, but that would be an expensive day at the golf course.
See, this is why, if you're going to drink at a sporting event.
It's $300 some odd, by the way.
Thirsty Thursday at McCormick Field.
All the way in.
Always a great idea. $1 beer night, great idea.
And you'll never catch me there because I do not want to deal with the guy like you that's real cheap and goes, I have $5 and I'm going to get rent. I'm good. I don't really want to sit next to that guy. I want that guy to sit somewhere that I am not sitting.
I'm not doing it. Of course,
totally
our imaging says I'm cheaper than oxygen. There's no chance I would pay $18 for a beer at any moment in history.
I'll be honest with you, I would pay $18 for somebody to bring me a beer right now.
Really?
It's been that kind of day.
Interesting.
Look. Need something to keep me leveled out. Okay.
Patrick Holt says at Bank of America Stadium, it's $14 for premiums.
Of course they are.
Well,
of course they are. Because
if
are you
I have to have a beer, I'm going Bud Light.
It's not
it's going to be cheap.
It's not going to be cheap.
It's going to be cheaper than $14.
It's going to be about 12.
It'll be 10, something like that.
That's fine. It's. I mean, look, I personally am a fan of basically anything light. Just depends on what I'm doing.
Right.
I could personally be sponsored by the whole triumvirate of light beers because there's a place that I'll drink them all.
Armchair Commentary says vodka Red Bull at Hackinson in Vegas. What is Hackinson?
I'm not sure.
It's $35. I'm not sure why y'all are surprised.
That's the thing that caught me is that you're really surprised by this.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, it just further it takes further down the road that whole notion that I ever had of, golf is an elitist sport, and I don't like it.
You can also get a Stella Artois for $19.
Stella Artois.
The next one of those.
Do they give it to you in the gold rim glass and everything?
I'm going to say no. It probably comes in a plastic cup.
At least does the plastic cup have a gold rim on top of it?
Does it need to?
I don't know.
That
the
seems
Stella
like an
Artois thing.
See, this is what tells me that you're not a beer guy.
No,
is
I'm
that
not
you
a beer
ask
guy.
questions like that? Because my favorite is the next one.
Right.
I don't care what it is. Oh, I have this sand and Pilsner in. Is it cold? That's all I care about.
See, I'm like I'm like, what was it, the Chris Rock character from In Living Color that was like, how about you just wring that bar rag out in my mouth and I'll give you $1.50.
Yeah, I'm good.
If I'm really that hard up for a drink, that's where I'm going. Yes, we know. Comment section. Yes, they're going to sell out of those beers.
100%.
We know they are.
$18
it is. For a beer is
that's
crazy.
right. The Hackinson is a nightclub in Vegas.
I
was thinking about sports things. I was like, what am I missing here?
You get a buzz on before you go out. And then
don't be that guy.
I am that guy.
Don't be that guy. That guy's the worst. Okay,
I'll
I'm
have
going
a
to say this
water.
just because, there are times that you say things that just really perturb me, and that is top 5 of most annoying. Don't be that guy. Don't go to a bar, make them deal with your drunk nonsense, and you are sitting in the parking lot drinking fatty natties. Don't be that guy.
I didn't say get drunk.
You can be a lot of people. I mean, for you, if you had 2, ta-da.
Ta-da.
By floor.
Yeah.
It's one thing when somebody like me, I had a 12er. Oh, well, I did that before I played golf the other day.
Good for you.
That's just what I do.
I hope you Ubered to the golf course after you had the 12er.
No, I actually was right down the street from the golf course, so I walked.
And
then walked while I was on the golf course.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, I walked back to where I was going.
JT Money nailed it in the comments. Tank's always that guy. 100%. Of course he's always that
100%.
guy.
100%. It drives me absolutely crazy.
The way I can get out the cheapest, that's the goal for me.
Or just enjoy the time out in the world.
I will.
I had 4 beers before I came. Of course you did.
Uh-huh.
Of course you did. And let me guess, now you're going to have a sweet tea.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Free refills. Beat that with your Bud Light.
Everything you say makes me angry. Why do all of your words make me angry?
Because we are two diametrically opposed people.
100%.
And that is what makes for an interesting relationship.
That's why when I do my taxes, there is a spot for Ubers.
You have an Uber bracket
100%
on your
I
taxes?
do.
Nice.
And I save. That's the only thing I save receipts on because they're on my phone.
I didn't know you could write those off.
What are you, a cop?
Business expense. It's a business expense. We got the PGA Championship coming up this weekend. Well, I guess it starts on Thursday.
And we're off tomorrow. So
right, like all good golf tournaments do. And yes, programming note, there will be Braves baseball here on ESPN Asheville tomorrow during our time slot. So we will not be back before the tournament starts. So it's a good time for Jeremy to get out his picks for what's going to go down at Southern Hills in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You have said that this is going to be, what, a high-scoring affair? Did I hear you say that?
No. This will be a low-scoring affair.
Low-scoring affair.
Yeah, you're looking for guys that don't you want somebody that doesn't have a propensity to have the oopsie hole, the double bogey. So bogey avoidance is big on at this tournament.
Okay.
Now, you call me whatever you want to call me, but I do a lot of wagering. We've had 2 ridiculous long shots win this 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Morikawa in 2020 and Phil Mickelson in 21. Morikawa was plus 3,000. Phil was plus 25,000. That tells me this is probably going to be a favorite because those things tend to be cyclical.
Okay.
Everybody's buying in on Jordan Spieth, and I can't do it. He can't putt. At the end of the day, he can't putt, and this is absolutely the diametric opposite of a course that I would take Jordan Spieth on. And he just makes me nervous. There's a guy that, I say this name a lot, and he never wins.
Xander Schauffele. Was that it?
That's 100% it.
Nice. I knew it had to be coming at some point.
If I keep doing this, eventually I have to be right.
Nice.
And I just look at this as he was good last week.
Mm-hmm.
Shot a 61 on Sunday. By the way, if you didn't watch the golf last week, I usually hate high-scoring tournaments. That one was fun.
The final round was really good.
That was fun. When somebody shoots a 61 and they're in the clubhouse before the coverage starts, like, hey, guys, all looking up at me.
Yep.
That tends to be a fun day. But this is going to be fun. I love the majors in golf. To me, that is the most underrated thing in all of sports.
Mm-hmm.
Our comment section apparently would disagree with me and say it's hockey.
What?
The most underrated thing in sports.
Okay.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I'm getting closer and closer to agreeing with them. I mean, not to go back to the story we just told, but there is no sport that is more enjoyable to consume beverages whilst watching it than hockey other than football. And my New York Rangers are my 2022 Stanley Cup champion New York Rangers.
He's only saying that because his boyfriend pulls for the team. Zach
my
Wilson.
Quarterback was there with his girlfriend. If they're good enough for my quarterback, they're good enough for me. I don't care what Brady Quinn says.
Hometown team. Carolina Hurricanes.
To be honest with you, I didn't even know they were still in it. I saw the video on Twitter and went, hey, that's Zach Wilson. And he seems to be enjoying this a lot. Looks like I need to. And then I realized that everybody hates the Rangers, and that just confirmed it for me.
Well, that's true. You do love a heel.
Oh, I do. Oh, the Razor Ramon of hockey? Oh, absolutely. That is exactly who he'll be pulling for.
I've seen a lot of picks, expert picks for the PGA Championship for Rory McIlroy. This is going to be the time the drought will be over for him.
I love giving out wagering picks. I do have a pick on Rory, but it's not on him to win it. He's plus 500 to finish in the top 5, and I think that's a layup.
Okay.
This is a course that lays out to him because this is going to get a little cyclical, so I'm going to try to explain this as well as I possibly can. This course does not play to the huge hitter. It plays to the big hitter that can stay in the fairway.
Who's accurate, right.
And Rory on his best weeks is that guy. The problem is that he never wins these. It's been forever, but he's always competitive.
Yeah.
So
also,
Rory at plus 500 to win it, I think is a pretty good bet.
I just love the way that here's me being the weird golf guy of I'm just amazed at the way the golf course lays out. The way that the holes are on top of each other are insane.
It's a weird course layout. But it's going to be fun. You're going to get Jordan Spieth playing with Tiger in the first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun. And since we're just talking about things that you can wager on here, I would be remiss if I didn't say this. If you're going to put money on Tiger Woods, take that money and donate it to a charity. Or buy $18 beers. I don't care what you do with it. Just don't put it on Tiger Woods. Whatever you do, don't do that. Because that's just setting it on fire.
Well, now, wait a minute. He says that the knee feels better.
Mm-hmm. If he hadn't been in a car wreck, I would not like him at this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
The fact he almost lost a leg 14 months ago, yeah, that confirms that no,
not going to like it.
This course just doesn't play to him. Now, do I think he can make the cut? Yes, I do. Not telling you that I would lay any dollars on that or that I would put anything aggressive at it, but he could. There's a possibility that he's hanging around on Sunday. I just don't think he can win.
Yeah. What about Scotty Scheffler?
I mean, that's the one
of the
hottest.
hottest.
That's where everybody's going to go because he played so well.
Right.
Dominated the last major. So, and look, maybe this is just my experience in golf. Tends to be when everybody goes one way, you should just pull a full Yui and go the opposite way. I said that we do a segment talking about things like this for Ingles, and I'm going to say the same thing I said in that. There has never been a time you can get Brooks Koepka cheaper than you get him right now. I know he pulled out last week. Mm-hmm. I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware that he has had knee issues. I'm well aware of that. I also know that I've watched him completely dominate this tournament twice. And when we talk about people whose game really plays into a layout like this, it's Brooks Koepka to the highest extreme. So if you're playing DFS or doing anything like that, you could do worse than Brooks. And he's going to be super low owned. Because people get scared that he's going to pull out, which I don't think he's going to. Could he surprise me? Sure. Usually when somebody pulls out of a tournament the week beforehand, if it's going to get them for the following week, you already know that. Usually they pull out because I don't want to injure anything. I feel pretty good, and we'll roll the dice. And that's what I think he's doing.
The PGA Championship will be underway at Southern Hills in Tulsa, Oklahoma when we return here on Thursday.
And tomorrow I'm going to drink a slew of not $18 beers in celebration of on a golf course. In celebration of the PGA Championship.
Nice. Good for you. It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We got the NBA Conference Finals kicking off tonight with the Eastern Conference Finals. Boston at Miami. Greene on Greene. His picks of the night coming up next.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
River Ridge Marketplace in East Asheville has been a staple of Buncombe County for generations, and now they're inviting you to their Spring Fling, May 28th from 11 to 4. There'll be food from their great restaurants such as Happy Cinco de Mayo, J&S Cafeteria, and many more. They'll also have sidewalk sales from their amazing vendors, snow cones, inflatables, and a petting zoo for the kids. So join me May 28th from 11 to 4 at River Ridge Marketplace.
Saturday, June 4th, the Cold Mountain Music Festival is back at beautiful Lake Logan, just outside Canton. It's a full day of music, food, and fun in the shadows of Cold Mountain, featuring Hiss, Golden Messenger, The Future Birds, The Mother Hips, Chatham Rabbits, and I Draw Slow. The gates open at noon. Music starts at 1. Get your tickets now at coldmountainmusic.org. Brought to you in part by New Belgium and proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
Do you have joint pain in your knees or hips or shoulder or back? Pro football legend Emmitt Smith knows how disruptive it is.
How can you focus? How can you be at your optimal best when your body's under attack by pain?
That's why Emmitt's such a proponent of QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is here with regenerative options using natural biologics, non-surgical alternatives that offer lasting relief for pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders.
This natural biological treatment gives them the chance to get back in the game and to have a normal life.
QC Kinetics treatments laser focus on areas of intense pain, allowing your body to heal itself with no drugs, so you can focus on normal life.
Walking up the stairs without pain, getting on your bicycle without pain, running again, playing with the kids.
Your consultation is absolutely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 826-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517.
Deep in the remote jungles of Colombia, a new species has been spotted. Humans. These humans are using animal mating techniques in their search for true love and are forbidden to speak to one another.
Not talking sucks. You either have your mate here or you don't.
Someone's got to go home.
This is it, the jungle or die.
Dating's never been this wild. Love in the Jungle on Discovery Plus. Start your free trial. Terms apply.
May is Maytag month, the hardest working month of the year, when you can save on hard-working Maytag performance. Like laundry pairs that make clothes think twice before getting dirty again. Refrigerators that make cold your new favorite flavor. And dishwashers that eat caked on oatmeal for breakfast.
Don't wait. Put the hardest working month of the year to work for you and save big on Maytag appliances now through June 1st. Because May is Maytag month.
DQ presents the sound of an all-star summer lineup. Leading off, the promising rookie, new Oreo Dirt Pie. On deck, the fan-favorite Girl Scout Thin Mints. Summer standouts, Drumstick with peanuts and cotton candy. And batting cleanup, it's you. With your red spoon and 6 summer blizzard flavors, official treat of MLB. All part of the new DQ All-Star Summer Blizzard lineup. DQ? Happy tastes good.
Coffee's for closers only.
Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
The sports world will never allow us to have 2 shows in a row where there's no things to wager on. And they also won't make me do baseball. 1 game in the NBA and 2 hockey bangers for you tonight. First, the Miami Heat are a 2-point favorite tonight against the Boston Celtics. Over-under is 204. I have said this, and I am not going to back off of this. I believe the Miami Heat are the better team. They are certainly now the more well-rested team. And I think every person that's affiliated with this series has basically come out and said, this is going to be old-school slugfest basketball. What that tells me, final score tonight, something in the neighborhood of like 94-87. Just serious throwback NBA basketball. Give me the Heat minus the 2, under the 204. Next, the St. Louis Blues are a 1.5-point dog tonight at the Colorado Avalanche. I think the Avalanche win. They're the best team in the West. They're the best team probably in hockey. But that scrappy little bunch of Blues, they're going to keep it close. Give me the Blues plus 1.5. Finally, the Florida Panthers are a minus 160 favorite at home tonight against the Tampa Bay Lightning. The reigning Stanley Cup champions are good, but they weren't as good at the first round as you'd expect. Neither were the Panthers, but this is part of my banger that comes in later. Florida's almost unbeatable at home, and they score a ton. Give me the Panthers minus the 160 tonight against the Lightning.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
And you can take those wagers to bethouse.com, use the promo code Sportsocracy, and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500. John DeLon says you need a T-shirt that says Degenerate Gambler when you start betting on hockey.
3 things. A, I've already bet on hockey. B, what are you, a cop? C, I already have one of those. It says GTS.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
We have breaking news, and this is big. This is showstopper, unbelievable news. The Mexican pizza is back! $3 hours. and before you ask me what's so special about it, I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
It's just the fact that you won. Like
yes!
when it went away, you were standing here like stomping your feet, like, oh, how dare Taco Bell?
It's election day, and the proof that democracy works. You say it. They have to do it. That's not at all how this works. But it's back, and you finally got something. It's so good.
There you go. The Mexican pizza back at Taco Bell. So, yeah, there you go. This is normally the section where we talk about the PhD weight loss program, but we're going to wait on that one since you just pubbed something that you can't have on the PhD weight loss
here's the
program.
thing. You can't. That's the beauty. You can't. You gotta, it's what's a one-off thing.
Yeah, just work a little harder.
The one-off thing, just be super good after that.
Coming up in the next hour, we're going to talk about, of course, the NFL. What quarterbacks are set to make a leap forward this year in the NFL, and which ones could possibly take a step backwards, either derailing their career or just continuing the already downward trajectory of their career.
And this is ahead of the release of my first 2023 NFL mock draft that will come out on the channel tomorrow at 3 o'clock in our usual spot. And there are a lot of quarterbacks, like way more quarterbacks than I want there to be.
Yep.
So they got to go somewhere. And that kind of got me to thinking.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville Sports Center. Coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Boy, this low humidity has been so nice today. It sticks around tonight with some 40s in the higher elevations, around 50 degrees in the city. Partly cloudy, beautiful weather midweek and a high of 83 degrees. Upper 80s Thursday and Friday. Could see some splash and dash summer-like thunderstorms here across the mountains of western North Carolina, and then widely scattered thunderstorms into the weekend with 70s and 80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Want to win $1,000? Well, we hope you've trained those fingers to spring into action every hour from 9 to 5 weekdays. Listen for the keywords, then enter them on our website for your chance to get $1,000 in your hand.
Brought to you by Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram and Friendship Nissan.
Hey, auto mechanics, are you underpaid? Get what you're worth at Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram and Friendship Nissan in Forest City. Get a higher flat rate, a 40-hour guarantee based on your experience, plus a sign-in bonus. Apply online at Friendship Nissan and Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City.
Whether you want your pet to have the independence to run and play outside, or you need to correct some mischievous behaviors like digging in the trash, the hands-on trainers from Invisible Fence brand train your pets for you. Visit InvisibleFence.com to learn more. Invisible Fence brand. Surround your pets with care.
Have you ever heard of the yips? What about the twisties? Join me, Justin Sua, for Losing Control.
a new podcast about one of the strangest phenomena in sports, the yips, or when an athlete or elite performer suddenly finds themselves unable to do the thing that they do better than almost everyone else on the planet. That's Losing Control, a new
From
podcast
the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in. ESPN's Ed Werder's reporting NFL officials began direct meetings with Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson in Texas today as the league seeks to determine whether he violated the personal conduct policy, and if so, whether discipline should be imposed. Watson's facing 22 civil lawsuits accused of inappropriate sexual conduct. He has denied any wrongdoing. The NBA Spotlight tonight, Heat host the Celtics in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, a matchup of the top two seeds in the East. One of the factors in the opener could be fatigue, according to ESPN NBA insider Brian Windhorst.
Since the Heat last played a game, the Celtics have played 3 games in 3 different cities. So this is a significant rest difference. I think you really saw it with a guy like Al Horford, 35 years old, scored 30 points in Game 4 when he played 42 minutes. Over the last 3 games of the series against the Bucks, he only averaged 5 points.
Boston guard Marcus Smart questionable with a right mid-foot sprain. Miami guard Kyle Lowry out with a hamstring injury. Game 1 coverage, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN TV.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. WIN. That's WIN. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, and subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat as we come to you, as always, live from the Ingles Studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. Just got some sobering news during the break. Ademola Okulaja, one of my all-time favorite Tar Heels, has passed away at the age of 46. He was a member of the 1993 UNC basketball team that won the national championship over Michigan. He had been battling cancer for a while. They don't know. The official cause of death has not been released, but we do know that he had been battling cancer. So, unfortunately, he may have lost that battle. At 46 years old, the school putting out a press release today, of course, sending their condolences to the Okulaja family. So, sad news to start off the 4 o'clock hour, but we trudge on here. NFL talk. What quarterbacks are going to make a leap, whether it be forward or backwards, in the NFL this year? I saw one of those, one of those memes, like, here's 9 quarterbacks. If you had to pick one, who do you think's going to take the biggest leap forward this year? And out of all of them, I mean, it was Daniel Jones and, just struggling quarterbacks. I think, to me, it's Tua. If I had to put money on one making a leap forward, I'm not saying he's going to be one of the best in the league, but I think it would be Tua. He's got weapons around him. He's got an offensive genius, we believe, as his head coach in Mike McDaniel. He's got a running game. He's got the offensive line. He's got all things going for him.
And I think he's going to definitively prove that he is a big old busty bust. I have seen absolutely nothing from him in the NFL that makes me think he's actually a starting quarterback in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. And I don't think adding one little speed burner receiver is going to change that. Look, I like Mike McDaniels a lot. I think he's a very bright guy, and I like the system. It's what my team runs. I don't see how Tua fits in it.
If I had to pick one team, and this is something that I really laid on ahead of the mock draft that's coming out tomorrow.
Yep.
If I had to pick one team that was high-level competitive and had lofty aspirations that's going to be in the market for a quarterback next year, I'd put anything you want to put on the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
The way he plays, one of the things that I always said Jimmy Garoppolo was really underrated about. Does he always make the right decision? No. No one does. But he often does. Is he going to win you a lot of games? No. But he's not going to win. He's not going to lose you games.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw last year from a quarterback that I think is going to take a tremendous step forward, Zach Wilson, he lost them a lot of games last year. He did not stay within the confines of that system. And my fear is that now that Tua has all of these weapons, he thinks he has to live up to being the 5th pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a recipe for disaster for me. And I look at the way that team's constructed. I've never really seen a receiver like Tyreek Hill in this system. That can certainly help. Other than that, there's not a lot of things that I love how it's laid out. I think the line's good.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be drastically better than it was. I think you're going to be able to run better than you could. And I just see a path that there's going to be a lot of weeks where we come in here on a Monday and go, there's no reason Miami should have lost that game.
Right.
Other than Tua Tagovailoa.
Right.
And I think it's going to get hot. I think the pressure is going to get hot, and the hotter it gets, probably the worse he plays.
Okay. You can consider me still a believer in Tua Tagovailoa. He's going to have to take that drastic step back.
All right, so I'm going to ask, what has he done that really makes you go, yes, I believe in that?
It's all just still based on what I've seen out of him in college, and there have been a couple of just small little window throws that I've seen him make in the NFL that go, yeah, there's some potential there. I'm not saying he's had a great game where he threw for 350 yards and it hasn't happened.
No.
But I think there's still that potential in there.
I need you to understand. I'm curious how close you can get on this.
Okay.
Tua's played in 23 games.
Yep.
Started 21.
Okay.
How many yards has he thrown for total? Total. In 23 games.
No clue.
4,400. Tom Brady just did that and considerably more
in a season.
Mm-hmm. To me, he's just the definition of a limited quarterback. I think he was propped up at Alabama by the weapons that were around him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just nothing really special about him. He's athletic enough. He's got a decent enough arm.
Mm-hmm.
He is the enough quarterback. And I think with the pressure that's on Miami, how tough that schedule is, you're going to have to be better than enough because that's really the only hole that there is on that team. And I look for 2022 to be the season where you go, yeah, you're not it.
Yeah.
And he's little. That's always bothered me, that he's just so little.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Zach Wilson are the same size, and one of them looks drastically bigger than the other. Now. Didn't last year, and that didn't go so well.
Right.
The one that I look to, and I think you're going to see a huge step forward.
Okay.
And it's the guy that I've always liked anyway. It's Derek Carr. You went from having the worst set of receivers in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I could argue you have the best.
The best?
You have the best receiver in this league.
Well, he's got Devontae Adams.
You have the best slot receiver in this league. I could argue you have the best tight end in this league. Yeah, that screams step forward.
Hunter Renfrow is the best slot receiver in the NFL.
Name me one better. Pure slot.
Oh, pure slot.
Mm-hmm. Name me a better pure slot receiver that does what slot receivers are supposed to do.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of pure slot receivers.
There's more than you think, and he's really, really ridiculously good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they'll be able to run the ball pretty well. I like that Raiders team. I've liked that Raiders team. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. That schedule is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're going to have a lot of weeks where the reconnection with the college teammate, the guy he's super comfortable with. And I mean, we saw this with Aaron Rodgers. Devontae Adams is one of a handful of receivers in this league. And when I say a handful, I mean 3. That just get it in the vicinity.
He'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have that guy before. He had Darren Waller, who was a mismatch for safeties and linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, he's still tight end. And I'm not going to say it was easy to take him out of games because he's had a couple great years with Carr. But he was all they had. Now you look at Hunter Renfrow, the shifty little slot receiver. He's the 3, and it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
So now the coverage on Waller gets less. I don't really care what you throw at Devontae Adams, and I think you're going to see what Derek Carr actually is.
Okay. Derek Carr, we have already talked about. He's a top 12 quarterback in the league.
I think he's top 10 this year.
You think he gets into the top 10?
I do. I think he's going to have one of those statistical years that it will be what Jameis Winston did in Tampa without the ridiculous number of interceptions.
Right.
And you just look at it and go, was he ever the best player on the field? No. But with this combination of weapons and this team, he's just really, really good.
I like Derek Carr at times.
I felt you couldn't just roll with it. You couldn't just go, I like Derek Carr.
Now that he has the weapons, now I'm in. The thing that I didn't like about him before was that he had limited weapons, especially after everything that happened on that team.
If you had to pick a quarterback from last year's draft class that was going to take a tremendous step forward, so obviously we're talking about Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Justin Fields.
It's got to be Zach.
See, to me, it's Trevor Lawrence. I feel like Trevor Lawrence went from being the golden child to one disaster year that they will probably make movies about. So now everybody just assumes that he's terrible.
I don't think he's terrible.
I'm not necessarily talking about you here.
Mm-hmm.
I have scoured the interwebs of somebody to say what I'm getting ready to say. And I haven't seen it yet. I'm not telling you this team's going to be good because they're not.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can be good. I think he can be really, really good. Who's more talented, him or Carson Wentz? Best you ever saw of Carson Wentz. Who's more talented?
Trevor.
Did Carson Wentz ever have weapons to the level of what Trevor Lawrence has right now? And look, I don't love him either.
No.
He was almost the MVP of the league. Had he not blown out his knee, he would have been the MVP of the league. And I feel like people forget that. And they forget that. And my thought on why they forget this is because this is in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at the schedule going, this is just going to be a disaster because it's such a mishmash of talent and they're just trying to figure things out. There comes a time where you go too far one way. And I feel like the narrative on Jacksonville has gotten there. Is that a dumpster fire franchise? Yes. And it has been for several years now. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of things to like. I think they'll be able to run the ball reasonably well. I like James Robinson. You got Travis Etienne coming back. Marvin Jones, Christian Kirk. There's things to like there. And I hear no one talk about Trevor Lawrence. Look, I think Zach Wilson's going to take a step forward too. But if I had to pick one, there is a huge addition by subtraction with the fact that Urban Meyer is not there anymore.
Right.
The circus has left town. They've deflated the tent. All of the things that went with that train wreck are gone. And now it's just quiet. There's no expectation of Jacksonville whatsoever.
No.
Trevor's stock is as low as it could possibly ever be.
Yes.
There are already people throwing around the bust word with him, which is insane to me. And I just look at it and go, I could argue you're in the best situation of any of the five. You have the smallest expectations.
Mm-hmm.
It's either him or Fields in that regard. And Justin Fields, I think, is one injury away from throwing to me. And people just seem to forget how prodigious of a prospect this kid was. The narrative on him, I've never seen it change so much in 1 year for a slew of things that I don't really think were his fault. Did he hold the ball too long? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. The line was terrible. The team was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And now I just feel like it's all going to this one side.
Well, because we all had this thought was, okay, Trevor
because you
Lawrence,
thought he was going to come in and be Peyton Manning, and what people forget is that Peyton Manning wasn't Peyton Manning for 3 years.
Right. Peyton Manning was bad when he started in the NFL as well. But he went to Jacksonville, and you feel like he just disappeared. And then the more things that you can laugh at that organization for, the lesser and lesser the stock gets on Trevor Lawrence. So when we went through free agency and they started handing out these ridiculous contracts, yeah, they overpaid the receivers.
They're still talented.
Right. You forget that these guys are talented. They're just not worth Christian Kirk. He's not worth the $84 million that the Jacksonville Jaguars gave him. He's still a talented receiver, though.
And to me, those contracts put a cap on what he can be 3 years from now. To me, all you did with this ridiculous overpay, first of all, it's hard to get people to come to Jacksonville anyway. Mm-hmm. They've had to overpay for free agents as long as they've been in the league. Now you're not going to be able to take full advantage of Trevor on the rookie deal. But you still have players. And I feel like that's kind of lost. And the schedule in Jacksonville is way easier than the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where all this came from. Brady Quinn just heaping on that the Jets could be 0-9. No, they won't. No, they won't.
They could.
Okay, let me and this kind of shades into the other side.
Yeah.
If you look at the Jets roster and you look at New England's roster, take the logos off the helmet, take the hoodie off the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
Who's better?
It's the Jets.
And it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, there is still this narrative that, well, the Jets will be 0-9. I didn't tell you they were going to be good. The back half of that schedule is pretty light.
Yep.
To me, there are two sophomore quarterbacks that have a great chance to show the growth. Am I telling you they're going to make the Pro Bowl? No. Trevor Lawrence's QBR last year was 33.5. Zach Wilson's was right there with it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think they can get to 55? Possibly even the low 60s? Yeah. And the teams are going to be bad. And a year from now, you look at it and go, well, at least we have the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we've gotten a lot of the pieces figured out. We have to smooth some edges. It's like building a house. Now you've laid all the bricks and there's the goopy stuff. I don't build houses. I don't know what that is. The stuff that you lay bricks with.
Right.
Plaster, putty.
Mortar.
Sure. Whatever it is. Goop. It's the goop.
Uh-huh.
And now you have the overflow.
I'm with
and you
you.
need to come through and trowel that.
Yeah.
That's where both those teams are.
Yeah. But it's the fact that nobody believes that those teams are going to be really good. I mean, we've learned our lesson on this, especially with the New York Jets. Or at least I have. I mean, there were a few years back. Remember the year that they added Le'Veon Bell? And everybody started going crazy of like, the Jets are going to win the division and this is going to be a contender.
If you remember, I did not do that. I was very excited
that was before we started doing this.
I was very excited about Le'Veon Bell, but this is just a little different.
Right.
And I look at those two situations in Jacksonville and the Jets. You're going to have a worse record there than two other sophomore quarterbacks. And I have a funny feeling I'm going to feel exponentially better about the two of you when this season comes to a close.
Mm-hmm.
After the break, we're going to talk about the other two. Because I genuinely feel like, looking at what's around them, I could make a case that you've done nothing to help them and everything to hinder them. And I don't think either one of them's that good.
All right. Who's going to take a big step back this year in their NFL career? Talking quarterbacks here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Boy, this low humidity has been so nice today. It sticks around tonight with some 40s in the higher elevations, around 50 degrees in the city. Partly cloudy, beautiful weather midweek and a high of 83 degrees. Upper 80s Thursday and Friday. Could see some splash and dash summer-like thunderstorms here across the mountains of western North Carolina, and then widely scattered thunderstorms into the weekend with 70s and 80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 26 eastbound east of Long Shoals Road to Airport Road. 40 eastbound stop and go after exit 27. to Newfound Road. Hendersonville Road southbound is slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Long Shoals Road due to an accident. Sweeten Creek Road southbound from the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road delays. Sweeten Creek Road on the northbound side slowing from Royal Pines to Mills Gap Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? Need Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
By now, you know how regenerative medicine is amazingly effective at treating joint pain. QC Kinetics has helped thousands of people get their life back pain-free. They're now using the same regenerative protocols to restore thinning hair for men and women with astonishing results. It's hair restoration without surgery. Natural biologic treatments that can restore aging hair follicles, giving you thicker, fuller hair. Regenerative medicine is such a breakthrough, it uses your own body's powerful growth and healing agents, highly concentrated and applied directly to the affected area. No drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. So if you're losing your hair due to aging, pattern baldness, or a medical condition, call now to learn more about exciting natural biologic treatments that can stimulate those dormant hair follicles. Get it growing naturally again. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
Whether you want your pet to have the independence to run and play outside, or you need to correct some mischievous behaviors like digging in the trash, the hands-on trainers from Invisible Fence brand train your pets for you. Visit InvisibleFence.com to learn more. Invisible Fence brand. Surround your pets with care.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Sorry, we were talking football. I hadn't hit it in a while. I had to hit the button.
I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't even hear it.
Who's going to take a step back this year in the NFL as far as quarterbacks are concerned?
I mean, I feel like the low-hanging fruit's Justin Fields.
No doubt.
He's behind the worst offensive line in the league.
How much further back can he go, though?
Oh, this can get so much worse. Oh, it can get drastically worse. Look, I said when he came out, I think he was the one that needed the most around him. Of the five of them, he was the one that needed the most help around him because he had some really bad habits. And now I look at the defense is not good. The defense is not good. There's just no way around it. The back half is not good. You're going to be starting two rookies in the secondary. There's not a lot to like there. So you're going to be playing from behind. You're going to be playing from behind with no real discernible threat on the outside. I mean, Darnell Mooney's fine. It terrifies me when he's your one.
Yeah, he's the one, and Byron Pringle's the two.
If he can stop doing crimes. Byron Pringle does need to stop doing crimes.
What did he do?
He got arrested for, I think he was doing donuts or driving like 243 miles an hour or something like that.
Equanimous St. Brown, they added him in the offseason. Hot.
I mean, it's terrible. Mm-hmm. It's terrible, and you're going into learning a new system. All of that sets up for bad.
Yeah, and the best thing you added in the draft around him was Velus Jones,
who I compared to Cordero Patterson. If I said it once, I said it 43 times.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not really the one I want to talk about.
Okay.
There's one that I think is going to have a precipitous fall, and it's a mixture of the schedule and the expectation and the coach.
Mac Jones.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Let's play a fun game with Mac Jones.
Okay.
I had to do the background on this. Who did he beat last year?
Oh. I know he beat the Jets.
Twice.
Jets +7.
Yeah. He beat the Jets twice. And he beat Houston.
Uh-huh.
And he beat Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And he beat Atlanta. And he beat Jacksonville. But he beat the Chargers in a glorified home game that wasn't because of him. That was 100% because of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
But he beat Tennessee in a game where Ryan Tannehill threw for 93 yards. And he beat Buffalo in a game he had 19 yards. He completed a pass.
Right.
And now you look at what they come up against. And I don't know where this delusional thought process that they're going to be so good is coming from. They start at Miami, at Pittsburgh, home to Baltimore, at Green Bay. You tell me what game you're winning there.
Not a one.
Because I don't see one.
Not a one.
Then you get Detroit, and that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go at Cleveland, the Bears, at the Jets, Indianapolis. Am I the only one seeing 3 losses there, or? Yeah, but you do get this, and this is what got me thinking about this.
We're all going down the path with you, yeah.
Is that Brady Quinn was talking about how everything could be over for the Jets. I could say the exact same thing for New England. And then you look around at, well, they added Devontae Parker. He has that same disease where his arms are made of glass and his legs are made of popsicle sticks, and he's hurt all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into this Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar,
Mm-hmm.
and you think you're going to shoot out with Miami and Baltimore and Green Bay and Cleveland with Deshaun Watson and Indianapolis?
And we're going to win the same way we did last year. Just run the football and play good defense.
I can't figure out where it's coming from.
It's Bill. We go through this every year.
And it's so delusionally stupid that I can't wrap my brain around it.
Well, again, it was delusionally stupid last year.
And they made the playoffs by the skin of their teeth and got absolutely slaughtered with the 22nd easiest schedule in the league. You don't have that luxury this year. Yeah, you got some winnable games after the bye. Those first 9 games are a disaster. And I don't even know who's calling the plays for you. But because of Bill. Oh, it's Bill. Bill's just a genius. He could.
Yep.
If any other coach did this, anyone, name me the second best coach in the league. John Harbaugh. If John Harbaugh fired Greg Roman right now and said, you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll just let Bill from accounting. He'll call plays. We would be talking about it every single day. But because it's Bill, I just trust the process with Bill. And I don't. You can call me a Jet fan, you can call me a Patriot hater, you can call me whatever you want to call me. I was right about Seattle. I was just a year early.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm right about New England. I was just a year early. You got some really nice slides of the schedule last year. You don't get those this year.
Yep.
And now you have a limited quarterback with limited weapons and even some of the bad teams you play. I mean, you look at the schedule. Yeah, they catch Arizona after DeAndre comes back in Arizona on Monday Night Football. None of those are positives.
Right. And it's not even a guarantee that Arizona's going to be bad.
No. It's by no stretch is it a guarantee that Arizona's going to be bad. I just want you to understand that when you look at the schedule, 2 of the 4 easiest games on this schedule are the Jets, the team that everybody talks about being way better now than they were. Okay. I don't see why this is so hard for people to see, but it seems to be.
Right. There was no forward trajectory in this offseason.
No.
In the last offseason, you spent so much money, and Bill felt justified.
You literally did everything you could to put the things around Mac Jones that you could. And now you're stuck. Now you are the worst thing you can possibly be in the NFL. You're between a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at Trey Lance.
What about Trey Lance?
I don't know what to do with Trey Lance. I don't know what to do. I think he's in the best position to succeed of all of them. He's on the best team unequivocally.
Okay.
I could also make the case that he's in the best, or that he's in the best division of any of the 5 of them.
Is that team unequivocally better, though, on paper than what the Jets have put together?
Oh yeah. San Francisco's they're a top 5 talented team in this league. Trey Lance has to be what Mac Jones was last year for them to, I would say, be the 1 seed in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know that he can. And that's been the name that I keep seeing, but there's no agreement. He's either the most likely to be an absolute train wreck or the one that will take the step forward. And I don't know. The schedule did you every favor.
Mm-hmm.
When we went through the schedule last week, I couldn't stop getting San Francisco at 11-6, 12-5. And every time I would look at it, do I really believe in Trey Lance that much? Because the answer is no. I liked the talent coming in.
Mm-hmm.
This kid started 2 times last year. And in those 2 games, he was not good. It's just a lot to be hinging your season on.
Right. Now, and
he's the great wild card in the NFL.
The more and more I think about it, the more and more I think, you know what? I get that you don't want Jimmy Garoppolo hanging around. But maybe you need to.
I think you do.
You need to do that. You don't need to pull the trigger on this right now. Like, everybody's talking about, that's going to be the next card to fall. I don't think it is.
I don't either. Because I don't feel like you can go in with just Trey Lance.
Exactly.
Because I feel like you've completely put yourself in a position to fail.
Right. And I get that it's a big cap hit and all this kind of stuff. You're going to have that anyway.
I don't care. I don't care if you were paying him $40 million. Stop worrying about the money.
Is what, 26, 28, something like that?
28.
Yeah, $28 million. I think that's
a
$28 million chip that I'd be hanging on to. That's an insurance policy just in case Trey Lance is not what we see in practice.
Well, you're going to have to eat a pretty decent amount of that just to get off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody needs him.
Exactly.
He's a luxury for every team in the NFL now.
Yeah,
so why would
Carolina Panthers?
You've got Sam Darnold, who you're already paying, and Matt Corral, who you drafted in the 3rd round.
I know. I'm just saying.
That's a luxury for the Carolina Panthers.
No, that would be an upgrade for what the Carolina Panthers
I'm not saying it wouldn't, but it would be a luxury. There's a possibility that's your 3rd quarterback. I don't think it's a strong possibility, but there is a possibility of that.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle.
Right.
I don't look for that to happen.
No, you're not doing that in the division.
So that's kind of where I was headed with this.
Mm-hmm.
Is if I'm San Francisco, this is not a problem to me. This is not a problem. This is a problem that the media makes. Because if you told me I could, all right, let's just roll with it for another year. I just roll with Jimmy again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be loud. It'll be loud of, what do they know about Trey Lance that we don't know? Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you in a year.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll show you in a year. Maybe I'm not as competitive in a year.
That would be the thing to focus on is there a problem with Trey Lance, or is it just the fact that Jimmy's better at this point?
Well, there's no doubt Jimmy's better.
Jimmy's better.
Just and this is, I'm going to be really honest with you. This is why I'm okay with you going to get your guy.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point in the offseason, I have, if you ever want to know how big of a nerd I am, I've got a whole theory on trading up The only problem is when you trade up for somebody that there's so much instability with. It's one thing if you trade up for Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Every team in the NFL would have done that. The Jets at 2, taking Zach Wilson. Every team in the NFL had Zach Wilson at 2. All of them.
Yep.
I mean, unless there's one behind closed doors that just absolutely refuses to answer this question. They all had Wilson at 2. You took the volatile one. And now you've kind of put yourself in a corner, unless you just look at the media and go, we're going to do what's best for us. Because what's best for you is Jimmy Garoppolo to be on that roster.
Which is honestly what I would trust that front office and Kyle Shanahan to do.
And that's the point. This is what smart franchises do. We have talked about where there are 20 bajillion shows, articles, podcasts talking about, well, where's Jimmy Garoppolo go next? I have a funny feeling he's going to be wearing red with a gold helmet and a number 10 on his back.
Yep.
September 3rd of next year.
Stays exactly where he's at because he is the $28 million insurance policy that the San Francisco 49ers need. He is the last need that they need.
It's my favorite line. When you hear hoofbeats, it makes a lot more sense to assume horses than zebras. You got a quarterback that I don't know who he is. Yes, we're tremendously invested in him. But I've also got a veteran that I've seen take us to a Super Bowl and take us to 3 NFC Championship games. Horses, not zebras.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
All right, Jeremy is so excited about the Taco Bell Mexican pizza.
Oh, it's happening.
Being back on the menu. It's not quite back on the menu yet. I think that happens this weekend.
Exclusive.
Right.
Until Friday.
Right.
So you cannot go to your local Taco Bell and just say, hey, give me Mexican pizza. Because they'll tell you, go into the parking lot over there and order it from your phone.
Right. You have to order it on the app. There's apparently an early access button or tab that you can find on the app that you can order it off the app.
And just, this is a PSA. You know, we don't do a lot of PSAs because we don't talk about politics.
Mm-hmm.
Order all your fast food from an app. Just, okay, they all have apps, and there's a reason. They will give you free things to order from the app. And do you know why? Because it makes it go faster.
And do you know why?
Oh, I get so angry. The rare times that I get fast food and I sit behind somebody that's, I'll have a, do you have a double cheeseburger? It's McDonald's. You know what they have. Just order it.
The menu has not changed.
It hasn't changed in 47 years. There's McRib, no McRib. That's it.
That's not true because there's no more Arch Deluxe, damn it. Still,
yes,
best
there is.
sandwich they've ever had.
It's just put lettuce and tomato on a quarter pounder. It's the same thing. They just call it a different name.
It had bacon. It had that Dijon-y mustard stuff on it. It was glorious. Arch Deluxe, best sandwich ever made. At McDonald's, anyway. I don't think any of these fall into the category of best sandwich ever made, unless maybe you're in a certain position. Germany, in their Burger Kings, they put out some specialty sandwiches last week. And
I don't like where this is headed.
These, I want to see just if there are any of them that Jeremy would ever dare to eat. I know one might make him barf live on the air, so let's get into it here. This is from what they call the pregnancy Whopper.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So they released when they announced the sandwiches, they did the release, and they said that 58% of women have cravings during pregnancy. And so we have leaned into this, and here is the menu for the pregnancy burgers. Now, they have Whoppers. Now, all of these still have the beef on it. It just has other things on it with the beef. There is one that has fried eggs. Not bad.
That's good.
And bananas.
Oh, but why do people eat bananas? Bananas are gross.
Bananas are awesome.
Bananas are disgusting.
Fast food bananas, not so sure about that. But, maybe quality would be a little different in Germany. Although I don't know that there's too many banana trees in Germany.
I don't care.
There is a Whopper with a currywurst sausage.
Out. You lost me at curry.
And that's not the only thing on the sandwich. It's a currywurst sausage, but also with marinated herring on top. Yeah, fish and a sausage.
So it has vinegar, fish, and sausage? I'm out.
Yep.
Oh, that's terrible.
Here's one with vanilla ice cream, eggs, and olives.
Stop doing all that.
And then the final one that is called the tort and beef.
Did you save the worst one for last? Because all three of those have kind of really put a damper on my after show Mexican pizza experience.
This is a burger that looks okay from a distance. There are a lot of layers on it, but it has layers of pancake, beef, fresh raspberries, ice cream, regular cream, more beef, another pancake, bun.
It's the trifle!
It is the trifle
that Rachel made on Friends!
It is exactly the trifle. Yes. Yes. Lady fingers, good. Beef, good. Jam, good. Joey doesn't share food. These are incredible. Now, it was only a special thing that they only did for Mother's Day. Why
would you do that to mothers?
It was a funny thing that they put out. There's no evidence that they even sold any of these, but they put it out and said for one day only on Mother's Day, we're going to give you the pregnancy menu for burgers. And there's another one that
Don't
I
do
thought
that to moms.
maybe you could get down with, since you are such a lover of the pickle.
I do really like pickles.
Okay, it's burger, all of the pickles. So it's like 3 layers of pickles.
Yep, we're off to a good start.
And raspberry marmalade.
Yeah, that's fine.
Really?
Yeah, that's fine.
Pickles and marmalade?
Nah.
Okay.
Pickles, good. Beef, good. Jam, good.
There were some lesser ones that weren't as gross that they got. There was burger with fries and strawberry ice cream. Maybe. I mean, you ever dipped your fries in a Frosty?
No, and I think it's weird. I think it's weird when people do that. Don't put hot things in cold things.
And then for some reason, one of the most popular things that pregnant women crave is a mixture of fish sticks and applesauce.
I would eat my computer monitor before I would eat a fish stick. And that's I'm not kidding you.
Really?
I would eat.
You don't trust the Gorton's fisherman?
I would literally rather go to our printer and eat the paper out of the tray than a fish stick. That is the grossest creation on planet Earth.
Currywurst and pickled herring. I would
rather
want to go down that path.
I would rather have avocado mushroom olives than one fish stick.
Really?
100%.
Okay.
The sheer fact that with all those torture tickets, you never found a way to make me eat a fish stick, because that is one thing I promise you. There will be a reversal of fortune on the screen instantaneously.
It is decided. First torture ticket of the NFL season will be Jeremy eating fish sticks.
All of the things you just said should have been crimes because they are gross things put on a burger. My story, actual crimes. This comes from Calvin, Oklahoma, and it has to do with a man named Joe Don Chitwood. He is 42 years old, and he has been arrested for distribution of methamphetamine. And that would not normally be a story, except he was the chief of police of the police department that started the investigation into the person that was distributing the methamphetamine.
Don't do crimes.
Okay, there are layers of this that, like the trifle. You started the investigation into you. That's a level of stupid criminal that I cannot wrap my brain around. Second of all, you're the chief of police and you're doing crimes. Just, okay. Like, if anybody's going to not do crimes, you're the one to not do crimes. Joe Don Chitwood. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've never seen a funnier transformation from your day-to-day picture to your mugshot picture.
Okay.
Because in his normal daily police outfit, in the uniform, that's the word I was trying to think of, he's got the dog, oddly enough, holding the drug dog, which I do see the irony in that. He looks like a normal feller. In his mugshot, he looks like he should be wearing a hat with a 3 on it and 14 Miller Lights deep on a Tuesday at about noon.
He's the Clark Kent of crime.
He's also wearing a police department shirt in the mugshot. I think I would have asked somebody to let me change that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. I hired you. Could you?
I'd have just done it shirtless. Just take the shirt off.
Oh, no. That's never the right goal. Let me just, first of all, we're doing well on the PhD.
Mm-hmm.
We're not to the end of the journey yet. Shirtless, always a bad idea. Also, cutting the sleeves off of anything, bad idea.
Good to know.
Just don't don't do that.
Good to know.
That is not a fashion statement that anyone needs to make at this point.
I'm just saying, would it have been a less viral story had you not been wearing the police shirt? That's all.
Oh, no, it would have been a viral story because he was the police chief doing crimes.
Agreed. I mean, I just told the story yesterday about the DUI of the guy up in Pennsylvania. Police chief who did crimes. Don't do crimes. How hard is that? ESPN has announced College Game Day is going to debut on September the 3rd. And honestly, it might be one of the biggest game day games we've ever had. Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Oh, the first weekend of college football is going to be bananas. Because they just put out that the Monday night game, the Labor Day weekend game, it's LSU and Florida State.
Nice.
The mothership has quite a nice little weekend smattering of college football games.
Mm-hmm. Ohio State, Notre Dame. You also have Georgia and Oregon.
That's probably not going to be one of them.
Chick-fil-A kickoff game. That'll be better than the LSU Florida State game.
I don't agree with you.
You think Florida State's going to make a comeback this year?
They're going to be better. And look, I don't think LSU's going to be – that will be a nice litmus test game. That will be the cherry on top of your Sunday, of your Labor Day kickoff weekend spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati, Arkansas, Utah, Florida. It's just, college football does this right.
Major games, week one, you're a big fan.
Oh, absolutely. And then the second weekend, you have Alabama at Texas.
Well, see, I love the fact that it lasts all week long.
Oh, yeah.
You go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You got games all over the place.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. And I'll make a sweeping declaration. Notre Dame is going to get housed by Ohio State.
Probably so.
Housed.
I mean, is that just because Ohio State's that much more talented than they are? Or is it?
Ohio State is very good and very angry. That is a terrible combination for a team that has a first-time head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a new quarterback. I don't know what the number is on that. I'm sure you can get something on it right now.
Right.
It's not high enough. It's not high enough. I don't care what the number is. If you tell me it's 17.5.
Okay.
Ohio State.
17.5.
I'd take it higher than that.
Wow.
I'd probably go all the way to 20.5.
Really? So
because that will have great hoopla.
So if you ran your own book, you would put the number on it just to protect yourself. You would still put it at 20?
No, to protect myself because Notre Dame fans can be a little kooky. I would probably set it 15.5.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State will slaughter them.
That's a lot. That is quite a bit. I can't wait for college football season to kick around, but in the meantime, it is still basketball season. Still hockey season. You got more hockey picks?
Absolutely. And I got the first ever real hockey banger.
Nice. Time to win some money here. Let's put 5 on it.
I gave you the first one earlier, the St. Louis Blues plus the 1.5 at the Colorado Avalanche. Here's the thing. Colorado's been off for a long time, and the Blues are playing well. I'm not saying they'd win. I'm just saying they cover the 1.5. Give me the Blues plus the 1.5. The Miami Heat are a 2-point favorite tonight against the Boston Celtics. That is a beaten-up team against a team that has not played, I like Miami in this series. I specifically love them at home. But the hockey banger, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. The over-under on goals is 6.5. I had 50 on the first two. I've got 100 on over the 6.5. These two teams have played 2 times in the last 2 months. You care to take a guess how many goals they've scored in the 2 games that they played?
12.
It's 24.
Holy smokes.
It was 12 both times. The Florida Panthers score a ton at home, and they're going to do it tonight. I got 100 on it. Over the 6.5 between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers.
All right, take those wagers over to BetUs.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500. The PhD weight loss program is helping us lose the pounds and get healthier, which is a goal that everybody should have. I mean, I've dealt with a weight problem my entire life, and I've never found a program that gives me results like PhD. In 24 weeks, I've lost over 66 pounds with PhD weight loss.
When I started the program, I said I had 2 goals. I wanted to get back to my high school weight, and I wanted to find a way to actually sleep. In just 23 weeks, they have accomplished both of those. I'm eating as I'm supposed to, not once a day, not once every other day as I used to, and I would overeat, and that's how I got so heavy. I'm sleeping better. I feel fantastic, and it's thanks to the program and the plan at PhD Weight Loss.
Through the better nutrition, I am getting healthier. I am getting more active. I did my first 5K. It's just been a whirlwind change for me since getting on PhD, and you can have similar results. I fully endorse the program. So does Jeremy. Go to myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go. 26 westbound approaching Long Shoals Road to approaching Brevard Road. An accident reported near the French Broad River. 26 eastbound is slow east of Long Shoals Road and approaching Airport Road. 40 eastbound stop and go between exit 27 and Newfound Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. With prices soaring at the pump, Discover has your back with cashback. Use Discover to earn 5% cash back at gas stations and Target now through June on up to $1,500 in purchases when you activate. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/rewards.
Here's to the great American settlers, the millions of you who settled for unsatisfying jobs because they pay the bills. Of course, there is something else you could do if you got something to say. Start a podcast with Spreaker from iHeart and unleash your creative freedom. Maybe even earn enough money to one day tell your old boss, "Hey, I'm no settler. I'm an explorer." Spreaker.com. Spreaker. Hustle on over today.
May is Maytag month, the hardest working month of the year, when you can save on hard-working Maytag performance. Like laundry pairs that make clothes think twice before getting dirty again. Refrigerators that make cold your new favorite flavor. And dishwashers that eat caked on oatmeal for breakfast.
Don't wait. Put the hardest working month of the year to work for you and save big on Maytag appliances now through June 1st. Because May is Maytag month.
Jose, how much longer till this dough's ready?
No one can bake gluten-free vegan goodies better than Surrey.
Wait, both Jim and Marion's last days are the same day?
But he needs to whip up a new shift lead without interviews burning his time.
Gotta get interviewing before my calendar is cooked. Oh, can you start?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard, so you can stay organized and connected all the way to the hire. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
May is Maytag month, the hardest working month of the year, when you can save on hard-working Maytag performance. Like laundry pairs that make clothes think twice before getting dirty again. Refrigerators that make cold your new favorite flavor. And dishwashers that eat caked on oatmeal for breakfast.
Don't wait. Put the hardest working month of the year to work for you and save big on Maytag appliances now through June 1st. Because May is Maytag month.
River River Ridge Marketplace in East Asheville has been a staple of Buncombe County for generations, and now they're inviting you to their spring fling, May 28th from 11 to 4. There'll be food from their great restaurants such as Happy Cinco de Mayo, J&S Cafeteria, and many more. They'll also have sidewalk sales from their amazing vendors, snow cones, inflatables, and a petting zoo for the kids. So join me May 28th from 11 to 4 at River Ridge Marketplace.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Dirty Turkish shark back flat. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. Shark back flat.
Let the hate flow through you.
Golf, to me, is one of the most underrated things in all of major sports, and with the PGA Championship starting Thursday at Southern Hills Country Club in Tulsa, well, there's a great big elephant in the room, and it's the reigning champion, Phil Mickelson. And the reason that's an elephant in the room is because he ain't in the room. Rory Mcilroy, at his press conference today, he summed it up exactly how I would have. This should be a celebration, right? He won a major championship at 50 years old. It was possibly his last big moment in the game of golf. I think he should be here this week and celebrating what a monumental achievement he achieved last year. Well, Rory, I couldn't agree with you anymore. The only problem is that he said some things that he shouldn't have, and he perturbed the PGA. Now, this is one of those times that, yes, Phil did withdraw. If you can convince me that this was not at the behest of the PGA, I'll give you every dollar in my bank account, because you never will. This was 100% the PGA telling Phil to stay away. Because you can't make this big a deal about something and then let him show up at the tournament that they're just going to laud all over him. The problem is, this is all we're going to talk about all weekend long. If you can watch 25 minutes of coverage of this tournament where Phil's name doesn't come up, I'll be stunned. The PGA had a really easy way to say, we didn't like what Phil said, but he's a reigning champion. He's been a great ambassador for the sport for many years, and we're moving on. Instead, they've said nothing. And now the CEO of the PGA has talked about how unfortunate it is that Phil's not here. Well, the reason he's not here is because you didn't invite him. I'm mad.
They didn't invite him, or they wouldn't let him come?
Invite him.
Right.
With the bunny ears. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me doing them. If not, they were implied.
Gotcha. All right.
There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, he was entered in the field as the reigning champion. There was no shot they were letting him in this tournament.
Right.
And we knew that from the time that the story broke. To me, it's just unfortunate, and it's going to put a great big damper on this tournament.
The question's going to be, when will they let him come back?
I would say after this. I think they're going to see how ugly this gets, and it's the PR is going to be a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg Norman will take every opportunity to bang the drum against the PGA for this. I think this is going to become more narrative than people think, and it's unfortunate because this tournament sets up that this could have been a great celebration and a great swan song for Phil. And look, I don't agree with what he said. I'm not trying to say that I do. I'm just saying that there are times that you put a problem in a corner and act like it doesn't exist, and you make it a much bigger problem.
By the way, this Saudi Super League, did you see that Jack Nicklaus said they offered him over $100 million to come be the face of it?
For 1 second.
He said, how can I do that? I helped build the PGA. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. No show tomorrow afternoon. There will be Braves baseball here in our spot. We'll be back with you on Thursday on the YouTube stream. Look forward to tomorrow. Jeremy will have out his 2023
way too early
mock draft.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Boy, this low humidity has been so nice today. It sticks around tonight with some 40s in the higher elevations, around 50 degrees in the city. Partly cloudy, beautiful weather midweek, and a high of 83 degrees. Upper 80s Thursday and Friday. Could see some splash and dash summer-like thunderstorms here across the mountains of western North Carolina, and then widely scattered thunderstorms into the weekend with 70s and 80s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag. Wendy's Biggie Bag is still just $5. Get a double-stacked junior bacon cheeseburger or crispy chicken BLT plus 4-piece nugs, small fries, and a small drink. Grab your bag at Wendy's today. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go. 26 westbound approaching Long Shoals Road to approaching Brevard Road. An accident reported near the French Broad River. 26 eastbound is slow east of Long Shoals Road and approaching Airport Road. 40 eastbound stop and go between exit 27 and Newfound Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.